Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time, we're going to try to figure out how much your personality affects your career success.
Okay.
Whether you're, trying to climb the corporate ladder, start your own
wow.
business, or just trying to figure out what makes you tick at work.
Yeah.
And we've got some pretty fascinating material to dig into for this deep dive.
Okay, cool.
Some excerpts from a document called Rutherford International Scope of Services V2.
Mhm.
And it basically describes the services of this really high-end consultancy that specializes in finding the best talent and helping those people reach their full potential.
Oh, wow. So this Rutherford International you're talking about, they find these talented people and then help them get to the top.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Now, what really jumped out at me right away was their whole approach.
Okay.
They've come up with this system for analyzing 85 different personality traits.
Wow. 85.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then they use those traits to categorize people into one of 72 personality types.
Mm.
And get this, they claim that this whole system can predict your career potential with 85% accuracy.
Yeah. 85%.
85%.
That's a bold claim.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, how much of our career path is really in our own control?
Yeah. I mean, how much is destiny? How much is just, personality?
Exactly.
Interesting.
And that's where Rutherford International steps in.
Yeah.
You see, their core belief is that self-awareness is the key to everything.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, knowing your strengths, weaknesses, and just how you approach work naturally,
So they're saying once you really know yourself, then you can make better career choices.
Right.
Choices that actually work for you instead of against you.
Exactly. Instead of constantly swimming upstream like you were saying,
Yeah.
they believe that by aligning your work with your personality, you can avoid stress.
Right.
You can avoid those frustrating career dead ends and just achieve more.
That makes sense. I mean, we've all had those jobs where you're just why am I doing this? This is not me at all. Yeah.
Totally. And it seems like Rutherford International's clients are seeing some pretty impressive results.
Oh, yeah.
According to their materials, half the people they place in jobs get promoted within just 18 months.
Wow. 18 months.
Yeah, pretty quick, right?
That's really fast.
And on top of that, these folks are supposedly 48% more productive and 25% more profitable than their peers.
That's significant.
It really is.
So it sounds like they might be onto something with this whole personality-driven approach.
They just might.
Okay, so let's break this down. What exactly does Rutherford International do?
Well, they have three main services, and they kind of all tie together.
All right.
The first is their CEO and Managing Director Executive Search.
Okay.
And this service is pretty exclusive. We're talking a minimum fee of $75,000.
$75,000.
$75,000.
Wow, so they're working with the big players, huh?
Yeah, they really are. They seem
Yeah.
to primarily work with these huge global companies,
Mhm.
the Fortune 500 types.
So not your average job seekers then.
Not at all. Now, their second service is called TalentNET. And think of it as this super exclusive club for up-and-coming talent.
Oh, so the rising stars.
Exactly. And they're really serious about this exclusive thing too, apparently.
How so?
Well, everyone in TalentNet is already in the top 25% of their field.
Wow.
They're consistently exceeding expectations and just delivering these exceptional results.
Yeah, you don't get into that club by just being average, I guess.
Not at all now. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Their third service is called RutherfordIntel.io.
Okay.
And this is their online platform where anyone can take their personality assessment.
Oh, so that's how they figure out your personality type.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And once you take the assessment, you get access to all sorts of resources that are tailored to your specific results.
That makes sense. So it's not just here's your label now, good luck.
Right. They're really trying to provide guidance and support based on your unique personality.
So it's like a personalized career development system.
That's a great way to put it. It's all about giving you the tools and resources you need to succeed based on who you are.
So what happens if you take the assessment and you don't make it into TalentNet? You know you're not in that top 25%.
Well, that's what we're going to find out next time when we continue our deep dive into Rutherford International.
Okay, cool. I'm hooked.
Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Rutherford International.
So we've talked about their three main services, the executive search, the TalentNet community, and that RutherfordIntel.io platform.
Yeah.
But what really makes Rutherford International's approach stand out, compared to all the other career advice and personality tests out there?
Well, one thing that really jumps out at me is their emphasis on community.
community.
Yeah, they're not just giving you a report and saying, see you later.
Right.
They're actually building these networks where people with similar personality types can connect and share experiences.
Oh, so it's like finding your tribe.
Hmm.
Those people who really get you.
Exactly. And I think that can be incredibly valuable, especially if you're feeling lost in your career.
So it's about fostering a sense of belonging, being part of something bigger than yourself.
Right. And they're doing this on multiple levels, too, with those free communities for anyone who takes the assessment, and then those more specialized subscription-based communities.
Oh, right. The ones for specific career paths.
Exactly. So you can really tailor your experience to your specific goals.
I like that kind of a choose your own adventure for career development.
Exactly.
But I'm still curious about their executive search process.
Yeah.
They claim to have this really sophisticated system for identifying top executives.
Right, for those huge global companies.
Exactly, the ones paying that $75,000 minimum fee.
So what makes their approach different?
Well, it seems to go way beyond just matching skills and experience to a job description.
Okay.
They've built this massive database of successful CEOs over decades,
Wow.
and they're using it to analyze the behaviors and traits that really seem to predict long-term success.
So it's not just about looking good on paper, it's about understanding what makes a leader truly effective.
Right. It's like they're cracking the code of leadership DNA or something.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And their TalentNET platform seems to be like a direct extension of that same philosophy. They're not just connecting people with jobs. They're identifying and cultivating a whole community of future leaders.
People who have that potential to excel in leadership roles.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that 85% accuracy claim they keep making.
Oh, yeah. That was a pretty bold statement.
It really was. And I think we need to be clear that this is based on their specific methodology and their own data set.
Right. So it's not necessarily a guarantee of success.
Exactly. It's more of a statistical correlation, between their assessment results and the career outcomes of their clients.
So it's not like a crystal ball or anything.
No, definitely not. But even with those caveats, it's still pretty intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, if their system can actually help people identify a career path where they're more likely to thrive, that's pretty powerful.
It really is.
It could help people make better decisions, avoid those dead-end jobs.
Right. And potentially avoid some of that dissatisfaction and burnout that so many people experience.
Yeah, it's like having a compass to help you navigate that whole complex world of work.
So it's not about dictating a specific path. It's more about providing guidance.
Right.
Helping people make choices that actually align with their natural strengths and tendencies.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the question we posed earlier.
Oh, yeah. The one about knowing your ideal career path with 85% accuracy.
Exactly what you want to know.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. On one hand, it would be amazing to have that kind of clarity and direction.
Right, no more second guessing yourself.
Exactly. But on the other hand, it could feel kind of limiting, like you're being put in a box.
Yeah, like what if you're meant for something else, but the assessment doesn't see it?
Right. It raises some interesting questions about, free will versus destiny and how much control we really have over our own lives.
Definitely something to ponder. But for now, let's get back to Rutherford International and what they're actually offering.
Okay, sounds good.
It seems like they're pushing the boundaries of traditional career services in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they're definitely challenging the status quo.
Right, they're integrating science community and this really deep understanding of human behavior.
Yeah, that's a very different approach.
So let's dive into some of the specific details of their services.
Okay.
Starting with their flagship platform, rutherfordintel.io. What can you tell us about their personality assessment and the insights it provides?
Well, their assessment analyzes 85 different personality traits, which they claim gives you a much more nuanced and accurate understanding of your strengths, weaknesses, and potential.
So it's way more detailed than some of those other personality tests out there.
It is, and based on those 85 traits, they categorize you into one of 72 unique personality types.
72.
72.
Wow, that's a lot of different types.
It is. And then the report gives you a comprehensive overview of your type, including your key strengths, areas for development, your preferred work styles, and potential career paths that align with your personality.
So it's not just giving you a label, it's actually providing useful information that you can use.
Exactly. It's about empowering you to make decisions about your career.
And they also provide personalized coaching tips, right?
They do. They offer specific strategies to help you leverage your strengths and manage your weaknesses.
So it's really about helping you take control of your career path.
Right. And they also include an ebook that dives deeper into your specific personality type.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that. What kind of information does it cover?
Well, it goes into more detail about your strengths, weaknesses, and potential challenges.
Okay.
And it even includes some personalized health and wellness tips because, your well-being is a big part of your career success too.
So they're taking a more holistic view,
Yeah.
you know, recognizing that our work lives and personal lives are interconnected.
Right. It's about understanding that true success is about more than just our careers.
I like that.
It's about finding fulfillment in all areas of our lives.
Okay, so let's talk more about their community aspect.
Hmm.
What are the benefits of joining those free community channels?
Well, the free communities are organized by personality quadrant.
Okay.
So you're connecting with people who share similar strengths and challenges.
So it's like finding your professional tribe.
Yeah, exactly. It's a place to network, share knowledge, and get support from people who really understand your perspective.
And they also have those more specialized subscription-based communities, right?
Yes, for specific career paths.
So if you're looking for more targeted connections and resources, those communities provide a more focused platform.
Right. You can connect with other people in your field, share industry-specific insights, and get access to more specialized career development resources.
So it's like a professional development network, but with a personality twist.
I like that you said that that's a good way to describe it.
Now let's talk about TalentNET, their exclusive community for high-potential individuals.
All right.
What are the criteria for membership?
Well, you have to score in the top quartile for performance potential on their assessment.
So it's a pretty selective group.
It is. They're looking for individuals who have that exceptional potential to excel in leadership roles.
So what kind of benefits do TalentNet members get?
Well, they get access to their talent agency service, which helps connect them with potential employers and exclusive job opportunities.
Oh, wow. So it's like having your own personal headhunter.
Pretty much. And they also get access to a really impressive networking platform where they can connect with other high achievers and industry leaders.
It sounds like a pretty effective way to accelerate your career.
It is. You're getting access to opportunities and connections that wouldn't be available otherwise.
And let's not forget those impressive statistics we talked about earlier.
Right. 80% chance of exceeding employer expectations, 48% higher productivity, and 25% higher profitability.
Those numbers are pretty hard to ignore.
They are. It suggests that they're really good at identifying and nurturing individuals who are not only talented, but also incredibly driven and effective.
And what about the people who don't qualify for TalentNet?
Well, even if you don't make the cut for TalentNet, you still get a lot of value from RutherfordIntel.io.
Oh.
You still get that comprehensive personality and coaching report, the ebook that goes into detail about your specific type, and even access to some career and leadership insights that are tailored to your profile.
You're not just left out in the cold.
No, definitely not. And you also get 6 months of free membership to the general community.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so they seem committed to supporting individuals at all levels.
Okay, so we've talked about TalentNet and RutherfordIntel.io.
Yeah.
But what about their CEO and managing director executive search service?
Oh, right, the one with the big price tag.
Exactly. How is their approach different from what you see with other executive search firms?
Well, what's unique about their approach is that they're combining those traditional methods like, networking and building relationships.
Right.
But they're also incorporating the science-based methods we were talking about earlier.
So it's not just about who you know or how impressive your resume is.
Exactly. They're using behavioral analysis and that huge database of successful CEOs to identify candidates who not only have the right skills and experience,
but also the personality traits that are associated with success at that level.
Exactly. It's a much more holistic and strategic approach than what you typically see.
And they're specifically targeting those big global companies.
The ones who understand the importance of finding the right leader.
Right, the ones who are willing to pay $75,000 for that service.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the nuts and bolts of their services.
Yeah.
But I want to get your take on the bigger picture.
All right.
What does this whole focus on personality and its role in career success tell us about how the world of work is changing?
Well, I think it reflects a growing awareness that, those traditional measures of success.
Like your skills and your experience.
Exactly. Those aren't enough anymore.
Especially in today's world, where things are changing so rapidly and the skills we need are constantly evolving.
Right. Companies are looking for people who are not just technically proficient,
but also adaptable, resilient.
Yeah.
Those who can thrive in those complex, fast-paced environments.
Exactly. And those are all qualities that are linked to personality.
So by understanding personality, companies can make better decisions about hiring, development, placement.
Right. It leads to a more engaged and productive workforce.
And from an individual's perspective,
Yeah.
understanding your personality can help you make better career choices, develop strategies to play to your strength.
It's a win-win for both employers and employees.
Now, I know some people might be thinking, isn't this whole personality assessment thing a bit deterministic?
Yeah, like you're being put in a box and told what you can and can't do.
Exactly. How would you respond to that?
Well, it's a valid concern, and it's important to remember that personality assessments are tools.
Okay.
They're not like rigid prescriptions for how we should live our lives.
So it's not about putting people into categories and saying, this is who you are and this is all you'll ever be.
No, definitely not. We all have the capacity for growth and change, regardless of our personality type.
So our personalities can evolve over time.
Right, and we can develop strategies to manage our weaknesses and play to our strengths in different situations.
So it's not about denying our personalities. It's about using them as a foundation for growth and development.
Exactly. It's about understanding ourselves more deeply so we can make more informed choices.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits of personality assessments, but let's flip the script for a moment.
Okay.
Are there any potential downsides or pitfalls that we should be aware of?
That's a great question, and I think it's important to be mindful of the potential for misuse or misinterpretation of this kind of data.
Like what?
Well, one example would be using personality assessments as the only factor in making hiring decisions.
Oh, so instead of using them as a tool to understand candidates better, you're using them to make these black and white judgments.
Exactly, and while personality can be a valuable piece of information, it's important to consider other factors too.
Like skills, experience, cultural fit.
Right, it's about using personality assessments responsibly as one part of a bigger picture.
And it's crucial to avoid using them to label or limit people.
Exactly. Like telling someone they're not suited for a particular career just because of their personality type.
That would be pretty discouraging.
It would. And it's simply not true. People can develop new skills. They can adapt to different environments.
Right. We have the power to choose our own paths.
Exactly. So the key is to use these assessments, thoughtfully recognize their limitations, and avoid oversimplifying things.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about Rutherford International's unique approach, the potential benefits and pitfalls of focusing on personality in career decisions, and some of the broader implications for the future of work.
It's a lot to process.
It is. What are your overall thoughts?
Well, I think it's a fascinating concept, and I'm really curious to see how it evolves. It's clear that they're tapping into something that resonates with people, this desire to understand ourselves better and make more informed choices about our careers.
And while their approach might not be for everyone, it's definitely a thought-provoking way to approach the modern workplace.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's an invitation to think differently about our careers and how our personalities might be influencing our paths.
Whether we realize it or not.
Exactly.
And on that note, I think it's time to take a break and let our listeners digest all this information.
Okay.
We'll be back soon to explore some practical strategies that individuals and organizations can use to actually apply these insights to their lives.
We'll be diving into some specific tips that you can start using right away.
Stay tuned. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Back for more.
So we've spent the last two parts of this deep dive really digging into Rutherford International and their whole approach to personality and career success.
Yeah, breaking it all down.
We talked about their assessments, those exclusive communities, and even their high-end executive search services.
Lots to unpack.
But now I think it's time to get practical.
All right, let's do it.
So how can we actually use these insights to our advantage?
The million-dollar question.
Whether we're, trying to figure out our own careers or maybe we're leading a team and trying to build a more effective work environment.
Yeah, how do we make this stuff actionable?
Exactly. So let's start with the individual.
Okay.
Let's say you've taken that rutherfordintel.io assessment or maybe another personality test,
Right.
What are some concrete steps you can take to actually put those insights into action in your life?
Well, I think the first and most important step is to really embrace that self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, don't just skim your report and toss it aside.
Right.
Take some time to really digest it.
Understand it.
Yeah, think about your strengths, your weaknesses, and, just how you naturally approach work.
So it's not just about knowing your type. It's about understanding what that type actually means for you.
Exactly how it shows up in your day-to-day life.
So give me an example.
Okay, so let's say the assessment says you really thrive in collaborative environments.
Okay.
Well, in that case, don't try to force yourself to be a lone wolf.
Right.
Actively seek out opportunities to work on teams.
Collaborate.
Yeah. Brainstorm with your colleagues, contribute to group projects.
Play to those strengths.
Exactly. And on the flip side, let's say you're more introverted.
Okay.
You prefer that focused, independent work.
Right.
Well, that's totally fine too.
You don't have to change who you are.
No, embrace it. Structure your workday to maximize those strengths.
So, like, carve out some quiet time.
Yeah, block out distractions and communicate your needs clearly to your team.
So everyone's on the same page.
Exactly.
So it's all about creating an environment where you can do your best work.
Right. And using that self-awareness to advocate for what you need.
Now, what about using this knowledge in your job search?
That's a great point. I mean, when you're looking for a new job, you should definitely target roles that genuinely align with your personality.
So if you're a natural leader, someone
Yeah.
who loves to inspire and motivate others,
Yeah, go for those leadership positions.
but if you're more of a creative thinker, someone who thrives on solving problems,
Look for roles that let you innovate and push boundaries,
find the right fit.
Exactly. And this is where I think Rutherford International's approach is really helpful.
Okay.
It's not just about the assessment itself. It's about providing that guidance and support to help you connect the dots between your personality and your career path.
Now, I know some people are probably thinking, well, I've already chosen my career path.
Right.
Is it too late for me to benefit from this kind of self-awareness?
No way. It's never too late.
Really?
Yeah. Even if you're already established in your career, understanding your personality can help you in so many ways.
Like how?
Well, it can help you navigate challenges more effectively,
Okay.
improve your communication with colleagues,
Right.
and even find ways to make your work more engaging and fulfilling.
So it's a tool for continuous learning and growth.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, no assessment is perfect.
Right.
Don't let it become a rigid rule book.
Use it as a guide.
Exactly, a starting point for exploration.
So don't limit yourself.
No way you're more complex and dynamic than any assessment can capture.
Okay, so we've talked about how individuals can use this knowledge.
Yeah.
But what about organizations?
Yeah, that's a big one.
How can companies use these insights to build better teams, create a more positive work culture?
Well, I think it starts with recognizing and valuing personality diversity.
Okay.
Instead of trying to build teams of clones, companies should really embrace the unique strengths and perspectives that come from having people with different personality types.
So it's about seeing those differences as opportunities.
Exactly. A team with a mix of introverts and extroverts, analytical thinkers and creative visionaries, that's a team with real potential.
But how do you manage all those different personalities?
That's where the insights come in.
Oh.
Companies can use this knowledge to tailor their communication styles, their team structures, and their leadership approaches to really support the needs of their employees.
So it's about creating an environment where everyone feels valued, respected, and empowered to contribute.
Exactly. And it's not just about preventing conflict.
Okay.
It's about using those different perspectives to fuel creativity and problem solving.
So it's a win-win.
It really is.
Now let's talk about talent development.
Right.
How can companies use personality insights to help their employees grow and develop their careers?
Well, for one thing, they can move away from those generic one-size-fits-all training programs
Right.
and create more personalized development opportunities that are tailored to individual personality types.
So you're giving people the support and guidance that's actually relevant to them.
Exactly. And they can also use these insights to create more effective mentoring and coaching programs.
So pairing people with mentors who understand their personality type and their goals.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture of continuous learning and development.
Where everyone has a chance to grow and reach their full potential.
And let's be honest, this isn't just about altruism. It's good business.
Right. When employees feel supported, they're more engaged,
Yeah,
more productive, and more likely to stay with the company.
exactly. So investing in these strategies can actually save companies money in the long run.
So it's about shifting from a reactive approach to a more proactive approach.
Right. Instead of trying to fix problems after they arise, why not create an environment that prevents those problems from happening in the first place?
So it's about building a culture that's truly supportive and empowering.
Exactly. And I think any company can benefit from that.
Now, I know some of our listeners are probably wondering,
Yeah.
okay, this all sounds great, but I haven't taken the RutherfordIntel.io assessment. Where do I even start?
Well, there are plenty of other personality assessments out there.
Like what?
Some popular ones include the Myers-Briggs type indicator or the Big Five personality traits.
Okay, but aren't all personality assessments kind of the same?
Not really. It's important to choose one that's been rigorously tested,
No.
make sure it's reliable and valid, and do a little research to find one that's a good fit for you.
Right. Find one that aligns with your goals.
Exactly. And remember, No assessment is perfect.
Right.
It's just one piece of the puzzle.
So what happens after you take the assessment?
Well, that's when the real work begins.
Okay.
It's about reflecting on those results, understanding what they mean for you, and then taking action to apply those insights to your life.
And there are resources out there to help with that, right?
Tons of resources, books, articles,
Yeah.
podcasts, online communities, you name it.
So if you're ready to dive deeper, there's a whole world of information waiting for you.
Absolutely.
All right, so to wrap things up, I think the key takeaway here is this.
What's that?
Personality matters.
It really does.
It shapes how we interact with the world, how we approach our work, and ultimately how successful and fulfilled we feel.
And by understanding personality, we can create a better future for ourselves and the people around us.
Well said. So whether you're an individual trying to figure out your next move, or an organization looking to build a better workplace,
Yeah.
embrace that self-awareness, leverage your strengths, and create a career path that truly aligns with who you are.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that brings us to the end of another deep dive.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Until next time, keep diving.